guys, welcome back to my channel, The Black Accountant. It's your boy Mo, and if you haven't already done so, you know the drill. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments of any kind of content you want to see going forward. And most importantly, don't forget to turn on notification bells so you get notified when I drop new videos. So in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about a concept that might seem a little bit abstract, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just me being pretentious. But it's mechanisms to navigating the world. And while that might sound like a kind of fanciest subject, I think about this very often, and it's sort of like it comes about to me from people watching, not in a creepy stalkerish way, but you know, sometimes when you catch yourself sort of you're out and about, or you're outside and you're by yourself, and you're sort of like sitting down and you just look at a crowd and you just watch people, and then you start seeing people, and then based on whatever it is, like some characteristic that stands out to you about somebody, you start sort of creating a backstory for that person about like who they might be or what they might be doing, what their life might look like. Maybe that's just me, but I think a lot of people actually do that. But I think about it in the sense of, man, everybody sort of has their own struggles, but I think everybody navigates life obviously in a sort of different way. And like these mechanisms sort of develop of how you interact with the world based on, I think, what you're rewarded for in a societal setting or within a social setting, right? And I think like a good way to illustrate that would be like good looking people, right? Where there's this idea that if you're good looking, you're most likely to be listened to. You might have an easier time landing positions. You might have an easier time maybe being taken more seriously versus somebody who isn't. And I think that also highly depends on the way that it's valued in your society or in your social circles, right? So let's say if you're a woman and you're highly valued for the way that you look, then that's probably what's going to get noticed first about you. That's probably what society continues to say or point out about you or like you for. So I think typically speaking, those people will consistently become obsessed with their looks because that's what they're being rewarded for. That's what society tells them is worthwhile about them. So therefore they put in more effort into that. And the same thing happens with guys as well. But I think also a downside of it is there's always just that stigma of you got this because you look a certain way. You're not as qualified as everybody else because you look a certain way, right? And it also kind of adds to this other stigma of like sort of bimbification. And I think I saw that word online. I thought it was hilarious, where it's like this idea that a lot of attractive people are stupid for whatever reason, and that like that because you coast by on the way that you look. And I think that there are definitely people who do coast by on the way that they look, and obviously it's a tool in the arsenal for some people as well, if you have other factors about your life that you try to make unique. But I think even within the sphere of, let's say you do kind of coast by just on the way that you look, it's interesting to me because that's like a mechanism that you choose to use to navigate the world, right? So if, let's say, you're an attractive woman and you know that that's what's valued about you, like you use that to your advantage when it comes to a business situation, when it comes to a social situation where you control your mannerisms, or you can you use the way that you look in a way that gets you what you want. In the same way that somebody that's not blessed, or it's like not born in a conventionally attractive way, and might be like very funny, they navigate the world through their humor, right? They use their humor to win people over in society because that's what people value them as. But the downside to that as well is people always assume you're joking. People always assume you're funny. So when you want to be serious, it's hard for people to take you seriously because you're valued for your humor. You're not valued for whatever your real takes on life are, whatever you are when you're actually serious. So that might make it difficult for some people. I think it might also be a reason that a lot of comedians have crippling depression, but that's kind of its own thing. But you see the point that I'm trying to illustrate here. I think people always have like one or two specific characteristics that stand out, whether you decide to make it stand out or not, um, and they help you decide how to navigate the world, right? If you're funny, you probably sometimes know how to really unite people in a room. You might know how to rally certain people. You might know how to get your comebacks. Like if somebody slighted you, how to get your comeback in a humorous way without that, like people around really feeling like you did that, but you did, right? And within, like, I guess also within a narcissistic capacity, right? If you know how to read people very well, but people can't read you, um, then I think a lot of times people do also use that to their advantage, right? Where it's sort of like, okay, I can predict how this person acts or what their personality is, and I know how to approach them in whatever way that's possible to get to what I want. And that's their mechanism for navigating the world. And I just find that to be something that's really interesting. And it's a subject that I think is the premise behind so much of psychology. And I find it always like really interesting. And I wish I could spend more time and like really look into it. But I think I'm one of those people who suffers from being interested in too many things. And like sort of, I guess an encapsulating term would be the master of none. What is it again? Jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one. And that's the full quote. You know, a lot of times people just stop at Jack of all trades is a master of none. But it's like falls into that category of a lot of falsely quoted quotes that are always the opposite of what they actually mean. But that's neither here or there. But yeah, this is just an interesting thing that I like thinking about. And I observe that a lot in my friends and family. Like I wonder what their thing is. What is your thing? How do you navigate? What's your mechanism for navigating the world? And it's interesting because I think for storytellers, especially if they have the ability to sort of start piecing that together for people, maybe that's how they write very compelling books, because you can create characters based off of these mechanisms and give them like well-rounded or full-bodied realness, right? Realness to those characters where you can actually develop them, because you start to see like, okay, maybe like this character's character traits are X, Y, and Z, and that's what they navigate the world with, and this is how they would change given this sort of perspective or this experience. And then like novels could be written in that way. But maybe that's just me geeking out, but let me know what your thoughts are on this subject below. Like, do you ever people watch? I know that's kind of a little bit of a creepy question. What are your thoughts on this? Do you feel like people do have like one or two big traits that they use to kind of navigate the world? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.